Just let me know.
Okay, so yeah, my show is absolute chaos, as we can tell. So we're
Hey,
back, guys.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna
yeah.
come back. I'm gonna restart my show for 11:15 because I don't want to. I want to watch the whole thing.
That's fine.
All right,
All right, cool.
back.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so and we have 5 people in the chat now. Hey guys, sorry about the. Actually, I'm not sorry. YouTube should be sorry. They should apologize to us for ruining our cinematic experience. I was so very looking forward to watching alligators chomp people up, but unfortunately, that opportunity has been denied by the YouTube overlords.
Everybody's over watching Brandy on the Brink show. That's what they're doing.
I've been betrayed by Brandy. Betrayed by Brandy's got a nice sound to it.
Well,
She stabbed me in the back.
One of the two.
She stabbed me in the back. Anyway, so Greg, where's Greg? Is he there? Oh,
he left.
Oh, he left? He just got up and left?
He just walked away.
He just walked away. Oh my God!
You know what?
Was absolute
you
chaos.
guys, I'm going home.
I bet he's getting moist.
Oh, there's Pops. Hey Gary. Hey Gary Spikes.
Hey, don't do that when I'm in mid-drink there, Paul.
It's just Oh, we got people filing in.
Yeah, I put it back out on Facebook all over the place too. So.
All right, cool.
Awesome. There's Greg.
Man.
He's back.
Hey guys, this is the second time this has happened to me. The first time I tried to show clips of Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
YouTube said nope midstream. So I had to like scramble and start a new stream where I was just talking angrily about how my show was sabotaged by YouTube.
By YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube sabotaged my show, guys. But today, Greg was very gracious enough to say, hey, you know, I've got a movie we could watch. And we're like, really? What movie? And he's like, this movie. And then here we are. We are going to watch The Land Between the Lakes. This was the movie that premiered back in January, last month. Mm-hmm. It is available now on your website, Greg, right?
It is at relicfilmsmedia.com. Just go there and you can either get you a digital download or order a DVD.
Not Brandy made it.
Yep. Hey, Greg.
Now when the film starts and it starts going boom chicka wow wow.
Oh, so we got to fill Jason in on what happened.
Hold on. Let me guess. You started the movie and it kicked you out because it was not as free to use as you thought.
Bingo.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. We're just going to do it from now on.
Imagine my surprise.
Yep. We're going to wait till they kick us off a stream. How's that?
There you go.
Land Between the Lakes is flooding bad right now, Gary says.
So Greg, how do you feel that your movie is now Plan B?
Not only that, to a 1980 film named Alligator.
Yeah. You're second in the shoot.
You got to start somewhere.
Aspire to greatness. Aspire to greatness.
That's right.
Well, they can't all be alligator. That's all I'm saying.
You shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you land among the stars. Right, Greg?
That's right.
You do.
Yeah, I actually got an even better result because I was just going to watch some shitty movie from 1980. Now we're going to watch an actual recently made movie premiere that we know that YouTube's not going to screw us over for.
You know, it says
I wouldn't bet on that.
It says we're live right now, Donnie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We are.
Yeah, we've been live.
We've been live.
But we got to know.
Y'all just tell me when you want to hit play.
Let's go.
All right. Let's go for it.
Just remember, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Just get ready.
Oh, that's fine.
All right. Yep. Whenever we're ready, whenever you are, Greg.
I got mine. Says Greg's feelings get hurt pretty bad.
I'm sorry, Greg.
Expeditions.
I'll give you more.
I was just glad that wasn't misspelled.
That's Relic Films production.
What?
Whoa.
Greg, we gotta get out of here. Hey, no. Okay. We gotta get out of here.
What? You're not shooting in color? What the heck, man? I thought this is 2020. You filmed this in 2024. You can have
that's at night.
with Technicolors.
Yeah, it's been 2
Like
years
color.
since we've released The Legend of the Downey Booger. That film chronicled our team's journey in our quest to find Bigfoot. We experienced a lot of strange things, and we wanted to go out and find out what some of those strange things actually are.
So me and Greg went back out to where we first
Yeah, Janice.
the whole entire legend of Bigfoot. We went back out to Bankhead, and wouldn't you know it, as soon as we got there, we started seeing things.
It wasn't quite as soon as we got there.
There was a thrown at us, and I took my thermal to kind of figure out what was going on. I could see something, but it was much cooler than what I had expected. I took the full spectrum camera up and I started looking through it. And
I love this that we have Greg on here for the
on
commentary.
tree that was falling, there was these eyes that was looking over the
Yep.
branch. It
Now, see,
stood
I
there
can't
and
see any
watched us.
questions or anything.
It sort of looked like eyes.
We'll let you
We'll
know.
relay to you.
Record that. Recording.
I would pull my eyes away from the camera and I could not see anything with my naked eye, but I put the full spectrum camera back up.
See
and I could
there?
actually see the eyes. They were still there. They were watching. I thought it was just so odd. I'm like, what in the world is
It's
looking at?
slowly moving
Is this a
away.
reflection of something? So I kept the camera on it. To my surprise, you could see the eyes just move away from looking at us. They ducked down behind the log and they never came back.
Are they gone?
It looks like it just moved. Yeah. I don't know. It's gone. After that event, things were quiet for the rest of the night. So we went out again. We wanted to do an experiment of our own. So we experimented with
Glow sticks.
While I was out, I took a glow stick and I put it as high up in a tree as I could find. When we reviewed,
Maybe skin deep.
we actually saw something standing right beside the glow stick that I had put out as high as I could reach. This thing appears to be 6 to 8 inches taller than where the glow stick was, just standing there looking at us. To me, that was very typical Bigfoot behavior.
So that
Why were
wasn't
your
you
eyes?
standing
Why were your
there?
eyes naked?
All
man?
of these
That was not me standing there.
that we experienced while trying to find Bigfoot.
Yeah, we didn't see it while I was there. We only caught it
This high strangeness
in post-production.
author, Trey Hudson. In his book, The Meadow Project, it chronicles some of the same things that we were experiencing. So I just had to hook up with Trey and find out a little bit more about what was happening at the meadow. We knew that there was some strangeness that went on at the meadow. However, we did not know exactly how strange things would get.
I'm Trey Hudson. I've had a lifelong interest in, things paranormal,
Trey Hudson.
entities, and
Trey.
involved in the night. I was a child of the '70s, and I grew up watching wonderful TV shows like In Search of, with Leonard Nimoy, UFO.
Man after my own heart.
A really, really rich, foundation in this kind of stuff. Grew up, did some stuff in the military. I started, earning my spurs, as you will, as a paranormal researcher. Ghost. I was the guy that would sit in the houses, with the K2 meter and the recorder, listening for disembodied voices and EVPs and all of that. And I had my paradigm broken. My paradigm shifted. I started learning that there were other things out there. The field of ufology, cryptid research, some of these other disciplines. You can't discount them. Here in the meadow, we've had a whole myriad of experiences. UFO sightings. We've had some phenomenal UFO sightings. Some of the most remarkable ones I've ever heard of.
I've experienced some weird things.
It's Kristen.
Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
But not everything I've discovered while being in the meadow and also in other areas is not just Bigfoot.
Sightings of figures on our FLIR that will morph and change shapes and all that don't correspond to any known location of our team members. But the most amazing thing we ever had is what we call the portal. And I'm going to use that. That's just a label. That's just a convenient term. But it was a cube that formed on our FLIR that was a different temperature than the surrounding environment.
We have found what appears to be a box, and beside that box was a cross. This actually formed. We guided some team members.
And to our amazement, they actually disappeared off of our FLIR. We could not see their thermal images when they went into the area where this thing had dissipated. We've since tried to recreate that, and we can't do it. That the FLIR does not lie. You cannot hide from FLIR. That's probably the most amazing thing we've had here, but that by no means discount these other phenomena, because they're equally amazing, mysterious, and intriguing. The experiment is based on some basic, parapsychological experiments that have traditionally been done in a lab setting, where parapsychologists will take certain things, seal them up in a lab, and see if there's any change. What we're doing now is we're taking some of the best practices from the field of parapsychology and actually taking
There's nothing we can do about this sound.
It's kind of neat because you don't see that a lot in field research.
It's off and on. It's not even all the time. So.
Based on one that has been done.
Notice all the poison oak.
In the basin. Basically, it's just a grid.
That's why they call you moist.
I stayed away from that.
Have on your refrigerator, and we'll place them on different random squares. We'll do two things. We'll record it.
Are those gummy worms?
Paper analog. We'll also photograph.
No, they're letters.
Oh.
Place it out in the meadow.
Yeah, I had a bag of gummy worms.
I thought it was a tasty treat myself, Donny.
Yeah. They're so colorful.
And just add a
So
little.
I did get a message from someone saying that it's really bad echoing. I don't hear it, but
No, I hear it on my end.
somebody else is
More cool.
messaged me and said that.
I'm hearing
So
it
just
too.
FYI.
And we notice things have been moved around, we can go back and look on the game cameras and see if there's any lights, mist, orbs, or anything that
Doesn't sound different than what we hear here.
Well, it's looked like an experiment worthwhile as far as you've got
Lots of saying
security,
it.
you've got
Sounds a little better now, though.
see if things change, and if there's any kind of tampering going on, it sounds like you've got everything covered.
Yeah, like with most experiments, you try to take out as many variables as you can. So you remove the variable of people tampering over. You remove the variable of it being.
Yeah, I still hear it though.
We also have it annotated north and south, so we're going to try to orient it to the north and south poles. Right. Some people there's some speculation that the way things are oriented, that can have an effect on things. So we're trying to add as many experimental variables as we can, but we're trying to remove any extraneous variables that we can also.
Okay, well, this sounds like a really fun experiment, and I'm very interested to see how this turns out.
Well, I'm going to be curious to see if your name is spelled out, with the magnetic letters.
Really?
That would be cool.
Yeah, Gary says sounds like they're talking in a barrel.
We're
gonna need to try to fix this audio here.
Romeo, at block number 10, I have a yellow A for alpha. Check. Block number 13, I have a yellow H as in hotel. Check. 25, I have a green G as in golf. Correct. 27, I have a yellow Z as in Zulu. Correct. 30, I have a yellow O as in Oscar. Check. 40, I have an orange W as in whiskey. Check. In pink, I have a pink. Or
Sounds
number
good.
33, I have a pink 2.
Right there.
Is it muted for everyone?
2.
Oh, right there. That was that. It was there for a
That
second.
was it.
Is,
That's it right there. Whatever you muted right there on your speakers, take care of it.
RF energy, radiation, and anything moving across the sky. We're tracking with
Hey, go ahead and mute that speaker again.
place out here that would do that stuff and store the data, internally, so we could have to come back.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Now, can you hear it?
Property that the public has access to.
Greg should be able to hear it in his earphones.
So
Greg, can you hear it okay?
Periods of time that we would have it out here. But, that's just yet another tool in our toolbox that we're looking at exploring.
Well, it's the norm for people in our business to be self-funded, and all this equipment
Greg, can
is
you hear us?
actually very expensive.
Yes.
So, when do we plan on coming back out and checking on the experiment?
Yeah, now it's perfect.
Like tomorrow morning. Because, usually during the day, at the time we come out and
That's the feedback thing.
Now I hear it feedback, double echoing or something.
Well, no, he's listening to it on another spot. It's going through his mic now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Things like that to see if we have any variations over what we know is the normal baseline, for this area.
Yeah, it
So
sounds
what
like Greg can't hear us to give us the sound quality. So
variation and an anomaly from the existing baseline.
This sounds super exciting, and I can't wait till we come back and see it.
Well, we'll be out here in a few hours, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Yeah, now it's sounding good.
I'm Bob Wilson, also known as Grumpy.
Oh, it's Bob.
I've been an active researcher in the Bigfoot field for over 40 years. I'm ex-military, retired law enforcement. That's where I got started in Bigfoot research back in the early 80s when I moved here to the Southeast after retirement from law enforcement. I got actively involved. I've had a lot of paranormal and ET stuff go on. Of course, I graduated. I got involved with ET research back in the 60s when I graduated from Exeter High School, where they actually had a ship land. And that's when I got started in it. I got started in paranormal research and stuff I couldn't really figure out. And I met Trey at a conference. Trey's the author, of course, of the Metal Project, which I'm part of. I'm also the head of North Georgia Cryptid Researchers and part of ASOG, Trey's group, and a few other groups here in the South. But I've been
Greg, can you hear us?
very active in these fields for
so it's got to be
years.
through,
I've had
through my end.
others have a lot of equipment burned up. I've had a lot of missing time. I've probably been exposed to more than most.
It's some sort of loop. It's some sort of loop on those other headphones.
Being very active in the field. After the portal incidents, and I use that word as a generic term, we've learned that we probably shouldn't be out there alone, because it takes new meaning to the book Missing 411. So now we only allow our teams to go out in at least 2, as well as base camp. Something which I have found over
Okay, now another mic hard to catch.
Have an area which is very high in Bigfoot or the cryptid field. You also have a much higher than normal activity level in both ET and the paranormal field within the same areas. We've done a lot of research over the years, and there's a lot left to do. As soon as we think we have, they throw something else new at us, and we're back to square one again. Well,
tonight should be really, really cool, because
That's
this
really good
afternoon,
now.
while we were out doing some work, we started noticing severe battery drain on equipment, and I'm talking like from 80% to 10%.
It was 50%. Now it's back down to the red.
So it's fluctuating.
Yeah, it's fluctuating. Like you can watch the dial, this dial right here, will go from red to white and back to red.
What are you watching, Brent?
I'm watching my battery level, and it keeps fluctuating from about 50% to about 10%.
The unique thing is it happened only at one geographical location, a very tight, narrow, geocentric point where this battery drain would happen. You move away from it.
Oh, I like that 3D effect that Greg puts in there. It's not just a map. He's got like a little animation and everything.
And maybe
He went
that's
all
when
out.
things are going to rock and roll. And like, we've had in the past, who knows what hand we're going to be dealt? Is it going to be another portal, entities? Is it going to be disembodied voices? But we're going to find out.
Hopefully tonight, we'll be able to experience some of what Trey and his team has told us about. We've got about an hour of sunlight before we head out. But first, we're going to go by and check the experiment box left by Trey to see if there was any change in the letters.
If you'll come over here and just verify, I'm going to read out what we have, and you just tell me if there are any changes. Okay, block number 1, green R.
Green R.
Check. Block number 10, yellow A.
Yellow A.
Block number 13, yellow H.
Yellow H.
Block number 25, green G.
Green G.
Block number 27, yellow Z as in Zulu.
Yellow Z.
Block number 30, yellow O as in Oscar.
Yellow O.
Block number 40, orange W as in whiskey.
Orange W.
And block number 43, a pink
So
number.
wait, what are they doing right now?
A.
Okay, no change. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there was no change. This is just one portion of this experiment. The other portion is when we get back to camp, looking at what's on both trail cam to see if there's any anomalous activity around this box. All right, but as the expedition continues, would you leave it out?
Looks like you have blue hair, Greg.
We will
Yeah, it
will
does
leave
look
it.
kind of
I think
blue.
that makes sense. We could come back later, and we will just continue the experiment. We're about to split off into groups and head out into the meadow. We've been experiencing problems with battery drainage
Oh, damn,
and
look
some
at
of
that
our
lighting.
equipment just not functioning properly. This area seems to be a treasure trove of high strangeness. There have been reports of shadow people, boards, UFOs, Bigfoot, and what appears to be a portal. I'm just hoping we can get something on camera tonight.
Before we broke up into the groups and left camp, I did all the proper checks. I checked my audio gear. I checked to make sure everything was recording correctly. We wanted to first stop by Trey's box just to check to see if any of those letters had changed, and unfortunately, there was no changes at all in that box. However, I learned in post-production that none of the audio that night that I thought I was capturing actually captured. I cannot account for why audio, when we're perfectly fine 150 yards away, and then you walk in to a meadow or a field, and all of a sudden you have this strange happenings again where it's just not capturing anything.
It seems like whatever.
I feel his pain tonight.
Didn't want to be heard. Trey seems to think that something may have been trying to communicate with
Damn,
us.
Greg's
he
looking all
suggested
blue.
we try something called the
He went
Estes.
full Smurf.
And what occurred next left our entire group in shock. So much so that one of my team members refuses to come back to this location.
Greg, all Dr. Manhattan up in here.
So what kind of contraption do we have here? What?
Well, this is something that I've taken from the paranormal world, the ghost hunting world. It's a variation of the ghost box, and what I have here is just a basic ghost box. Nothing too fancy. You see it on all the TV shows and all of that. A lot of people
always have a fancy ghost box.
People hear.
I wish I had a fancy ghost box.
They're listening for.
You do it, your phone.
Any static or any utterance.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Name out of it. What's your name? And I hear something that remotely sounds like Jeff. Like, well, obviously it said Jeff. So it was really subjective. There were a lot of people that wondered if this was really a phenomenon. So what some smart folks did that were investigating Estes Park in Colorado, they came up with something called the Estes Protocol. And what the Estes Protocol is, you take the output from a ghost box, which, as a lot of people y'all probably remember, cycles through frequencies, and you can hear little snippets of words. So what we're going to do is we're going to isolate that. We're going to take a receiver. And would you like to be the receiver this evening?
No, absolutely.
Be the guinea pig.
Would you like to be the receiver?
Okay, we'll give you a little.
That sounded so wrong.
That's not right at all.
You be the catcher, I'll be the pitcher.
Of course, it is the Donny Cho show.
Yeah, it's legal on this show.
This ghost box. Just to be doubly extra careful.
In this segment, look over my right shoulder and you'll see a shadow person when I say stop.
And then to make sure that you can't.
Oh man, is Greg not able to speak right now? Oh man.
And your instructions are going to be this: is whatever you hear come out of this box. However,
don't worry, Greg. Every time you type into chat, I will post it up here.
Hear the word
to make you a part of us.
You just speak out loud and proud.
Because we receive you, Greg. We receive you.
Regardless of how silly it may sound, because you don't know what questions we're asking. We might be saying, what's your favorite bizarre, vegetable? Mm-hmm. And then you would say rutabaga, which, we're in contact with another world, obviously. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to get you hooked up with this. And once I get you all ready, I'm going to put my hand.
Hey, Greg, actually, here's an idea. If you want to say stuff about the production, why don't you just pause the video and then unmute yourself and then give us the director's commentary, because I kind of want to hear it, man.
Yeah. Typically, how long does the session last?
As long as we want it to. As long as if we can make some.
See, now I get confused because when Greg talks into film, I think he's unmuting himself. Because he said, "How long does session last?" I'm like, "I don't know, Greg. It may until when the movie's over."
I'm not myself. So yeah, we'll just give it a try and see what happens. Okay.
Greg is the guy in the tan jacket with the.
And give me a
We're
thumbs
calling
up
it blue hair.
here.
That's Mr. Moist.
He looks
I
like
don't
an
want to know the story behind that.
Jason looks like an Andorian.
Here,
Star
Thank
Trek.
you. Thank you.
Look here. When you're hearing the audio coming out of the ghost box.
I can now.
Okay. Well, I need you to put the blindfold on.
Ooh.
And then if you will do
It's just
putting the earmuffs on once you get settled.
Oh no.
Oh, he's doing. Yeah, I know this.
That's this method.
Yep.
Someone going to put his hand in warm water?
Oh, that'd be funny. I never thought about that. Now I'm going to do that to the next person I see doing that.
See, only the real ones get
Rick,
that.
do you have any idea what I'm saying right now? Can you see me or hear me? Okay, we'll go ahead and start the session.
Greg got the reference, Rob.
Is there
There we
anybody
go.
or anything that wishes to
I knew Greg was cool.
or speak with us tonight?
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of affiliation with the phenomena?
Nephilim.
Nephilim.
What? Straight up, it just says Nephilim. Damn.
Are you a Nephilim is a fallen angel? Are you perhaps a creature from another dimension?
Beast.
A beast.
That's
Yo,
creepy.
This
People
ghost
have
box is
described
not messing
Nephilim as
around.
beasts.
Yeah.
Are you what we would call Nephilims or what we interpret?
Idol.
Some people do consider
Damn.
Nephilims as idols.
Damn.
Are you a
What?
paradimensional being that has been here for many, many years, many a millennium?
Oh, there's gonna be a what?
Yeah, watch closely. He said he look over his shoulder. He said,
Are you
His right
affiliated
shoulder.
in the dimensional activities we've had here?
"Right, we're looking
Wait, I'm
at it
full
right now."
screening
Have
this.
you
I
had
need to see
anything to
this.
do with?
Reaper.
That's creepy. That's
I'm picking
pretty
up
dark words.
negative.
Yeah.
things. Is there a reason that
I did not see it, Greg.
No, I'm going to turn off
Yeah,
my
I
light.
didn't see it.
negative things? Is there a message you wish to give anyone in particular? Is there
guy
a
an Oakland
message you
A's
wish to
fan?
give to all of us
Ew.
collectively?
Christ.
Christ. Many people believe that Christ is the way to avert these negative outcomes. Are you telling us about the eventual downfall of the earth?
That's my boy Isaac.
Are you telling
Oh
us?
hell no! I know what this is. Y'all
We
having a
did see a
seance.
box in the
No,
middle.
chill out, fool.
And
That's
it
my
did pick
childhood
up
best
on
friend,
heat
by the way.
signature. Yes, it did put off heat. Were you responsible for this? Something that
Stop. Just stop.
you did this last time we did this. You wanted us to stop. Why do you want us to stop?
I think I saw it, Greg. Was it kind of climbing over your right shoulder there?
Can you rewind it?
Yeah, can you go back a bit? Hold on.
Yes,
Rewind it just a touch.
Yeah, let me
Why
full
we're
screen
asking.
this. I want to see what's up.
We would like some help in furtherance of our understanding.
Help.
You did this last time we did this.
There it was.
There.
So, wait,
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
wow.
saw it.
Heat. Downfall of the earth.
Oh, jeez.
Are you telling us about our?
In a box.
We did see a box in the meadow,
Heat.
and it did pick up on heat signatures. Yes, it did put off heat. Were you responsible for this? Something that
Stop. Just stop.
You did this last time we did this. You wanted us to
There
start.
was.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Wow.
There it is.
Can you help us? Can you give us some words of guidance?
Help.
Yes, we would like some
something
help.
even before that when I
Why
jumped.
we're asking. We would like some help in furtherance of our understanding of this phenomena that we have in this area. Were you the one that touched some of our team members earlier this year in the adjacent field? Do you know who did or what did?
W.
There was a
George W.
on- There were letters and numbers we were using in our
shit,
experiment
Isaac.
today.
Oh shit, y'all
Yeah.
writing check your
Colonel?
souls can't cash.
Are external forces going to affect our experiments and operations here? Are you that external force? Is the box or cubes or portals, is it a manifestation of plasma energy in magnetic fields? Is
I
radiation
don't think
an
Steven's listening
indicator?
enough Star Trek to know what he's talking about.
Greg says both cameras were shut off
Who
during
is
the
missing?
scene. Damn.
Is there a
Does-
dog panting there, Greg? 'Cause I thought I heard a dog panting.
Does this phenomenon have
No, I think
something
that's
to
the
do
background
with
music,
missing
actually.
people
It's kind of
and parts
eerie.
and force throughout the-
Territory.
Is it your
Greg
territory?
says we
What
had to
are-
restart, and the camera guy saw it while restarting.
Is it your territory that people are becoming missing in?
No
Are they
dogs.
intruding and encroaching?
Ice.
Ice.
He's a Vanilla Ice
Ice.
fan.
Are you referring to cold?
16.
What does the number 16 signify?
16 Candles?
Ooh, good movie.
I would like to
I wonder if we
thank you.
can play that movie.
Energy
Doubt
and
it.
effort.
Yeah, they're definitely up on the
And I'll say goodbye
on the
until we speak
copyright.
again.
Did that scare you, Greg, when he hit your shoulder?
All right, hold on. Hey, Greg, can you pause it and unmute it? I got some questions I needed to ask you about this. Can you just pause it real quick and just unmute your mic? Hey, Greg, you with us?
He's working on it.
Oh. Oh.
You got to change out headphones now.
Oh, he's changing out the
He doesn't. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to talk to us. Apparently.
I don't either. I don't blame him.
Hello.
There you
Are
are.
you there? Hey, Greg. So yeah, what was up with that? You were actually hearing it say like straight up Nephilim in your ear and everything? Like, what was that like?
Okay, what's up?
All right, so you were like, I don't know. So what was going through your head? Like, you got this thing on and it says straight up like just Nephilim.
Yeah, you that little box thing there's so much noise going through that it's very difficult to comprehend what was being said. But every once in a while, it would sort of slow down, and you would get a second of clarity, and you could understand the word. And I just whatever it said, I just repeated. I frankly don't remember saying anything during that session. I don't remember anything from it. Yeah, I don't remember anything.
Man.
Although I do remember the imagery that I was getting, and the imagery was extremely negative, very apocalyptic. For instance, there was like, I remember seeing these scenes of like dead babies and people just strewn all over the place. And it was extremely disturbing. Wow. Yeah, it was very, very disturbing. And when the session was over, I was frankly glad that it was over. Because it was just so disturbing.
Hey, really quickly, Greg, when you had the headphones on, the headset, you couldn't hear the questions, right? He just said questions.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
I couldn't hear anything. Yeah, all I heard was what was going through the ghost box. I
That's
couldn't hear
right.
anything.
Which is just the white noise, like, and
Right.
it's just like going around looking for like radio frequencies. So
Man,
that's
right.
all.
And it scans all the FM frequencies too,
Right.
correct, Krista?
Mhm.
So you're hearing bits and pieces of radio stations too.
Mhm.
So
And what you're seeing too is scenes that was kind of clipped together because we had both cameras out. Both cameras stopped working during the filming of this, and when the camera guy went over to restart the cameras, he kind of looked over at me and saw that shadow figure, you know, and it really freaked him out. He won't go back there anymore because it freaked him out so bad.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it should. It should freak you out.
Yeah. Well, I guess it really should. But I hope you guys saw the shadow figure.
Yep.
We didn't. We didn't make a big deal of it because it was so hard to see for the film. But I thought, I would use sessions like this to go back and kind of point out evidence and point things like that out.
Here's my question for you, Greg, though, thinking about it as we were watching and looking at it, you pointed out where that particular shadow figure was. Now, earlier on when you had a wider view, you could see shadows going across that same spot. Was that coming from the fire and other people in the area, or what?
There were other people that was in the area that was vacating earlier.
Okay.
And but they vacated for the session because we wanted the sessions to be very intimate, and we didn't want extraneous information put in to the film. So you saw them earlier, but of course I couldn't see at the time, but everybody else said that there wasn't anybody else moving around during that to have created anything. Have created the shadows. Plus, the camera guy saw the shadow person.
And that's what I wanted to verify with you, because it did. If you looked at the early on at the stuff as y'all were talking and see those shadows floating across that exact same spot, that's why I wanted to double check and make sure that we weren't seeing somebody maybe going across there. But if you said the camera guy saw it full force, then
he did.
Yeah, we've got different avenue of approach there. So.
Yeah, he did, and it was a point of contention for us whether or not to even put this scene in there. We had hot debates about this because it almost gave him PTSD.
Shit, it was that bad. Damn.
Yeah, it shook him up that bad because he saw the figure multiple times, and what he said it would do is it would try to like lunge into me, and then it would be repelled back, and it would try to lunge into me. So he said he saw that several times.
Wow.
So did you feel anything when you were doing that? Like something was lunging at you, or did you know that at all?
I don't recall feeling anything. All I recall is just the imagery that was in my head. That's all I recall.
Wow. Okay, cool.
This still of you looks like you just took a big dump.
Yeah, that's the way I felt.
Well, imagine you lost a couple thousand years of demonic activity.
Well, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't happy. Whatever it was,
it could be a little
unhappy.
problematic, shall we say?
Yeah.
Well, and clearly the spirit needs to be watching more Star Trek, because I don't think it knows half of what Trey was asking.
That's true. It needs to be a Star Trek fan. I mean, it was probably a spirit way before Star Trek's time.
Well, they need to keep up with the times.
They do.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
It's on streaming. It's not like it's hard to watch. I'm just saying. They're giving away Paramount Plus with a Walmart, with a Walmart subscription to their thing. The demons are going to be okay with Walmart.
Mm-hmm. Well, they should be.
Don't be blaspheming Wally World, okay?
Oh, and I think to Nemovir's comment, he's like, I can't see anything without red circles. Well, how about this? I see you, Greg. I see you.
Yes.
There he is. There's Greg.
Yes. I refuse to put red circles in my. Hey, no, take it off. No red circles.
We forgot he's got a delay.
Yeah.
I thought he was yelling at his dog.
I thought he was too.
Well, he's yelling at Donnie, so yes, he is yelling at a dog technically.
Yeah, that works too.
All right. All right. Shall we continue, folks?
Let's continue.
All right. Let's go.
Okay.
I kept seeing these weird images in my mind, and I would hear. It was hard to process exactly everything that you hear because it's going so fast. Just but every once in a while it would slow down just for an instant, and you could hear.
Get a moment of clarity.
Yeah, it would slow down, and you could understand the word. And there's other times where you're not hearing anything, but you're getting these images, these images in your mind, and I'm not sure exactly what that was.
What kind of images were you getting?
They were weird images. The imagery was disturbing. I really don't recall all the words that I said. You just it's almost like a reflex. Whatever you hear it, you say it. But the imagery is still there, and it's very almost like a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah.
Just
or Goya or something.
yeah, just disturbing. Everything distorted. Even the imagery was distorted. I just don't. It wasn't pleasant at all. The weekend at the Meadow Project was one of the craziest weekends I've ever had. However, we wanted to push the envelope just a little bit more. We wanted to find out one of the most active sites in the entire United States. And we think we found it. It's got to be right here at the Land Between the Lakes.
This location has it all.
Yo, Greg's
Big-
hand gesture game is strong,
Boston
man. I just gotta
sightings,
say.
Orbs, the lights in the sky, you name it. People have seen so many things in this area, and I'm really interested to see how this correlates to the other things that we've experienced.
The entire gambit of the paranormal world seems
This
to
was addressed
culminate
earlier.
right
Not during that scene when they were recording when the thing, the shadow person moved. No one was moving at that point.
At the intersection of several ley lines. It's at a convergence point. This weekend could be
looking
the
good though,
most
Greg.
important
Looking good.
weekend of our
My hand gesture
entire
game is
filming
whack because
career.
like when I do it, I
am
look
so
kind of
excited to
ridiculous.
see what we find
He's all
out.
professional.
And
Look at
to
that.
It depends on if I'm driving or not.
have any veracity to them.
Before we meet up with the rest of
You
the
got
crew,
you got to learn to speak
just wanted
the
to stop
Italian,
by and talk with
right?
Peg.
I have a lot of
Well,
Italian friends, so I've learned how to do.
Joe's
You know,
Distillery.
Read
here in
between the lines,
It's a lot of
everything.
information about the history
Yeah,
of the
that
Land
kind
Between the Lakes and how Casey Jones and her family were here.
So Donnie, for the ghost hunt at Richmond, are you
Basically,
going at Ray County? Are you going to
The land
get
between
under the Estes method?
I'll give it a
land
try.
between the rivers ultimately became the land
give it a
between the
try.
lakes. Casey, at a very young age, went to work for a coffin builder. And that's where he began to learn his trade of how to build angles, how to build strengthening tops, and how to put handles on things. He became the famous person in that region for building illegal production copper moonshine stills.
Greg says, "Tie my hands, I can't speak."
Region. Rumor has it that he probably built between 300 to 350 outfits, as they were called at the time.
Oh, don't make me make a meme of you, Greg. I'm gonna do it right now as we speak. Y'all just keep watching.
Gallon outfit. And at that time in our American history, it was illegal.
Not
to build
moonshine if it's legal. That's all I'm saying.
Connecting you to a legal distillery, and of course he never did. So he did some vacation time in some federal and state penitentiaries. He also went to the Eddyville State Penitentiary, which is on the Cumberland River that is now Lake Barkley. And as he looked across the river out of his cell, he saw an area at the Land Between the Rivers, now Land Between the Lakes, that always had a little bit of fog, kind of in a little indentation. And he thought, what better place to start my next still project than right there, because it always has fog in it. Looks like smoke would. Keep in mind that you had the land between the rivers, and it was a protected piece of land in between those two rivers. They could protect coming and going and know who came across the ferries. There was a lot of corn, and they had an airstrip in there to actually bring sugar in to make moonshine. So very popular area, and Al Capone was known to have traveled this area quite frequently and to have purchased product that came out of Casey Stills. Rumor has it that he preferred moonshine that was made in a Casey Jones still over any other product he could buy. Before the early 30s, when the TVA Association and President FDR decided to turn the Tennessee River into Kentucky Lake, his family had lived in an area and farmed an area in the northern portion that is now called Franklin
Greg says, yes, I
Hollow.
purchased some moonshine
He
from this
had been
place.
given that property as reward for fighting in the Revolutionary War, given to him by the government and then taken away from them by the government. Some of the things that went on in between that time was the challenge to stay alive in that area. It was very poverty stricken. Both of those lakes were created for hydroelectric power generation. That movement of people out of the land between the rivers was very, very controversial. In fact, in my personal opinion, it was very ugly how they were moved out, how they were treated, how they were compensated, and sometimes even killed over not wanting to move out. As a young child moving to Kentucky in the early 60s, I was witness to an auction in Golden Pond, Kentucky. We had just moved here from Indiana, and my mom went to one of the auctions at Golden Pond, Kentucky. And not knowing at the time, but then later.
No, it is not, Dr. Jekyll. You and I agree on this.
People standing on their porches as everything they had was being auctioned off in front of them. They were given the money and told to get out. Many of the family graveyards that are in the land between the lakes are still restored today by family members who are able to.
Yeah, apparently people in the 19th century used to treat each other like real shit.
On those graveyard areas.
I remember that picture, Krista.
Quite a history about all of that.
You've been to that cemetery.
In that area because of its convenience, because of the rivers, because of the agrarian population.
And this is technically the 20th century, Donnie.
Oh, it is? I thought it was like late 1800s.
No.
1930s.
1930s, dude. Al Capone.
Oh, okay.
Prohibition. Yeah.
Okay.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky is home of Edgar.
I like that little cute little barn.
Hop Town.
Greg
Also
says the
not
segment was
heard her say Hop
profoundly
Town.
touching what these people went through.
Kelly, Kentucky.
Really was. He's right on that. It's really sad when you're through there, like in the woods, you can see like, old homesteads, like where the foundation was and stuff
Fighting
all through there.
stories and actual things that happened that we just don't really know. We can't find.
Nemo Veer asked, isn't moonshine just incomplete
We're
whiskey?
really thrilled that we have Casey Jones.
No. He's not exactly.
Type of
It's not wrong,
experience
though.
that Casey was persistent in building still.
Just like how I think grilled cheese sandwich is an
we
incomplete
were able
sandwich.
to acquire the last.
We have to add salami, Donnie.
And that's how Casey Jones
That's
Distillery
actual
came.
whiskey. Oh, Casey Jones, she must be a Ninja Turtles fan.
While I'm here, I'm going to meet up with Adam Davis, who's another legend in the crypto world.
I'm here. I'm going to buy some moonshine.
Time in the British military has been all over the world searching for cryptids.
See, okay, there's one bit about this film that I do have to say is a bit deceptive. When Greg walked up to Adam Davies and shook his hand, it looked like they were meeting for the first time.
They're soldiers.
Hell no, they're like homies.
In exchange,
They're homies because
Yeah, I just went drinking at the bar with them back in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got all goofy that night.
Until the government.
They made it look like they were just meeting for the very first time. It's like, hi, I'm Greg. Hi, I'm
I
Greg.
remember the one Alabama Bigfoot conference with Greg and Adam. It was quite fun.
Yeah. We sat there. How long did we sit in that hotel bar?
All I know is I converted Greg into drinking wine that night.
Paranormal activity.
Oh.
It's almost a gift.
You ruined Greg?
I did.
I thought it was the evil spirit. Now I find out it's you. Your wine pushing ways.
Wait. Evil spirit. Evil spirit. There you go. Evil spirit. What are you talking about?
In Mongolia, and of course the Congo, looking for the Makili Mamembe, the Congo dinosaur. Most of the time I've done it.
Yeah, that dude's been everywhere, man.
Money.
He's a good guy.
He's been everywhere, man.
I consider myself to be an explorer and adventurer. And the purpose of all of these things has been to find scientific evidence of whether these creatures exist and to answer really my own intellectual curiosity, my own questions. But sometimes I think it's important that you say, I don't know. And sometimes you can't deal in certainties. You have to deal in maybes. And for me, The Land Between the Lakes is a big example, or a great example of I don't know. And I'll tell you why. So before, I was never really interested in the Dogman stories at all. I dismissed it because I couldn't see an evolutionary pedigree for a Dogman. How could such a thing exist?
I love how he mixes pedigree and Dogman together in the same sentence. I see what he did there.
The places I've been, but
I'm stealing that.
In somewhere like the United States, where, forgive me, the Land Between the Lakes is large, certainly, but it's really, you know, I can drive 20 minutes out of here and I can get a pizza if I want to. So how could it exist? So I didn't pay it all that much attention, and still I started to do a little bit of research. And I was impressed by the fact of listening to Martin Groves' tale.
There's Martin Groves.
Shot at these creatures.
Damn, his beard be looking fluffy.
Incredible individual.
Kind of like wanna.
And he's
Santa Claus.
Yeah, you want to like lay your head on his
Martin
chest
Groves
and
is the
use
best.
as a
He is
pillow.
a nice
I'm
guy.
Martin Lundley,
Yeah.
57 years old. I've been coming down to the Land Between the Lakes recreation.
He's got an
area
inviting looking beard, man.
for
He
years
looks like
now, looking
marshmallows.
for the humanoid there.
Little known fact: Adam Davis' father is Sir Topham Hatt.
And just hoping to run into this thing. It's not enough for me to just sit
Both
back
kids
and
got that one.
hear so many people talk about this creature and
Causing confusion and delay.
including women and children. And I think
Hey, so wait, where's Adam Davies
trying to do something
actually
to stop
from?
that,
Like,
right?
I know he's
So
from the
I'm
UK.
not
That's
talking
clearly
about
UK
it, but
accent.
actually
But
trying to make
like,
it
which
mean
part of the
what I'm
UK?
here for.
I have
My
no
name is
idea.
Martin Groves. I am a retired police officer at law enforcement.
By the way, everybody watching, Martin Groves will be at our conference.
As
Throwing that out there.
year of criminal activity. We're here today within the most beautiful area of Kentucky and Tennessee.
And no, folks, that is not Santa Claus. That is indeed a man. Just a man, guys.
Have you ever seen Santa
Calm
Claus
down.
and Martin Groves in the same room? No, you
Calm
have
down.
not.
However, there is a dark and a sinister side to this land.
Ironically, we're also going to be having Santa Claus at the conference.
Yes.
Um,
Greg's also going to be there.
A sinister side.
This whole place, even before the government takeover,
He's better standing than Texas.
Here by the Native Americans be
what I
sacred
was
and
gonna
cursed,
ask
just like the rest of Kentucky.
Didn't Adam
It's told
have
the rights to
of his own?
white settlers, the Native Americans.
We can barely hear you, Tex.
We don't think
Can I hear you. Get to your microphone.
live here because of the spirits of the
Off-season
dead.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's
You turn it down?
in this place. So I think the curse is still going. I think the violence and the blood and the anger and the hatred.
But
they've all
no, I was wondering if
seeped into this ground.
Adam
We were at a turkey hunt spring of 1993.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Where we had contact with beasts or creatures that are not supposed to exist. They came into our camp to attack us, and to my belief, they came there to eat us. We were on the menu. If it had not been for
I heard this story in person, actually.
being able to protect ourselves, we would have not made it out alive.
I continue to have experiences with these.
He did it at the Dogman conference. Didn't he talk about his?
No, he was there at whatchamacallit, Alabama.
Creatures standing beside
But I
the
think
road.
he did it at the Dogman conference too,
There
didn't
were
he?
cars coming both ways, so I didn't get a chance to stop. This was a broad daylight sighting, just like.
Can you hear me better now?
Strange about these things is they
a little better. Yeah.
A little bit.
Kill all the animals. They killed
How's
every
that?
animal that we had except
Yep,
for our two
sound
dogs.
good.
Keep talking.
Run up underneath the house.
That any better?
Near.
Yes,
you're better.
Yeah.
They went and
Okay.
killed all
No, I was wondering if
farms animals and brought
didn't
this to our farm in our yard.
Adam have his own experience when y'all were out there doing this?
They were all mutilated.
Over there?
But not ripped or
You're at Land Between the Lakes. You talking about, Tex?
all their,
Yeah, that part will be coming up.
all the guts were gone, the eyes were gone, and the
Yeah, I
teeth.
thought I was thinking that he did.
Too much land on these carcasses. No scavenger would eat them. The coyotes would
Talking about when they had the main experience on this movie?
They would lay there for months and months and months before
I
they.
just remember Adam kind of going, "Oh my God," you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, keep watching.
And this has led me on to a quest of the last 30 plus years into discovering the missing persons and the hunters, hikers, and campers that have disappeared and have been killed in this area, which what we will call deaths by unknown animal.
This place is so beautiful in the daytime, but at nighttime it's a whole different world. It's like an oppressive air settles on this place, and it's one of the most creepy, scary.
Yeah, I got to get out there with y'all.
I've ever been in. I've been to many places in Kentucky, and I have to say this is one of the.
But Tex, you're going to be there by yourself.
Yeah, I do. I want to go. I want to do some solo stuff out there for sure.
We have
Just make certain your will's updated. And I want to get shit.
This has 270 cemeteries, and we have all kinds of different phenomena taking place here. We have ghostly phenomena. We have.
Don't worry about getting got by no dog man there, Tex. I'll put in a good word for you with him.
So basically, this place is like an epicenter of high strangeness, and it draws a lot of.
I'll let him know
every
to
year. So
not
I'm just
inflict
one of the
harm
few that
upon
come
you.
here, but
This is Pope, you know.
I believe I'm the only one actually.
Well, and I appreciate you putting the word out there. You know,
East of LBL.
Goes,
And
you know.
Hey man, it pays to be the Pope.
You know, especially the women and children. I consider this my state, and I don't like the fact that that's happening in my state, and I'm here to stop it if I can.
I'm not just going to dismiss it as nonsense. I want to research it and investigate the veracity behind these stories and see if I can come to some conclusions about what this creature might be. But I think you have to suspend ego.
I feel like Adam Davies is like a reincarnated like
don't
British
know.
nobleman. I
Right
could just
now,
imagine him with that big long like white beard, like white
Not to
wig
take away
from like
anything
1700s.
Yeah.
You may well end up.
And be like, you know, like an all nobleman, and then like he fucks up, so then in his next life he lands in like Kentucky in the middle of like bumblefuck Kentucky. And I'm like, damn, what the hell did he do in his past life? He's got to go around in Kentucky and chase after monsters.
Well, I'm so glad.
And his soul is like, oh no, it's such a far.
I've been following
I've
your
fallen
work
so
for
far
years.
from the king's grace.
Area, Watson. This is really a unique area.
So Nemo Veer, let me help you out. Unfortunately, you cannot inherit Texas beard. Texas beard must be earned. That's all there is to it. It cannot be handed down. It chooses its next victim.
Do a night investigation. We've got forest either side, and we've got this marsh here. Right. So if something comes in, we can film it. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
Let's do it then.
Let's do it.
Investigation prep, 5 p.m.
So Barton, what do we need to be careful of tonight? What's unique about the dog man?
Well, Adam, I think what people mainly need to know about the dog man,
Who's doing your drone footage?
despite what anyone will tell you, they're
I
real.
don't guess Greg can hear me.
They can be deadly.
Yeah, he can hear you.
He can hear you, he just can't respond.
Your surroundings have to know what's going on around
He
you.
responds in the chat.
Yeah.
Well, let's break out our tech.
No,
and
I'm not
put up
watching
some trail
that.
cameras and see what happens, eh?
Oh, Greg says we did.
Pretty good job.
All right, guys, I'm gonna bounce for a moment to get my things set up, so I have to catch the rest of the show.
All right, man. I'll see you over there. I'll be in the
I'll be
chat.
over there at you. It's starting at 11, right?
11:50 and about 2
We
minutes.
arrived at the location. We began
All right.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
none of us
Yeah, Rob.
I can handle it for a little bit. You guys watch it. I got something lined up. All right.
Yep. Actually, I got to bounce too. I have run out of time for the evening. Greg,
All right.
it's a pleasure as always. Donnie,
Yep.
screw you.
How dare he on my own show? Oh man.
Would you expect anything less?
No.
Man.
It's okay, Grace. I'm with you. All right. I'm with you.
Oh no, that's the wrong button. I was about to end the stream. Whew.
Oh, you're
Okay.
about to do
All
a
right.
Donny Cho.
Yeah, I
That'd
was.
have been good.
Yeah, I was like, Wait. No. I shouldn't end the stream. I should just log out. All right, let me try that again. All right.
Try to leave studio.
Yeah.
You guys might want to watch this here, though.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a minute. I can wait.
Aggressive growl. I've never heard anything like that. And he's so loud. Oh, you okay? I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I wasn't sure if I believed in this stuff, but there's something out there. There's something growling.
Yeah, he's shaking.
Man, that dude is shook.
My
That
God.
dude's shaking hard.
Something freaked him out, huh?
Yep.
He
And
was
this is-
freaked out. I can attest to the next day he was still freaking out. Brett was.
And there was a Bigfoot right on the other side of the truck, right, Greg?
I think it's time for Greg to pause and talk to him.
Yeah, okay, Greg, if you could pause and come back on. People got questions.
Yeah, Nemo Beer, I was. Luckily, I realized what I was about to do. I let YouTube do all my
There he
dirty work
is.
for me on Donnie's channel.
And we can hear him, too. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
us?
Yep.
Yeah, we
you got
got
a hot
you.
mic. Mike is hot.
Hold on.
Yeah, but he can't hear us yet. He's got to unmute.
Oh, let me do this.
Can you hear us?
Okay. How about now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Good.
we hear you fine.
We got
There
you.
you
Can
was.
you hear us?
I don't think he
You
can
didn't
hear
unmute it. He didn't unmute his headset. You didn't unmute your
Okay.
headset.
Can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear us.
Click it. Oh wait, not that one. It was his system. It was the system one, Greg. It was the system headset. You got muted.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to hop off too because I gotta hop over. So
Yep.
Okay.
You do what you
have
need to
fun.
do.
Have fun watching it. It's
Oh, let me take
definitely a good documentary.
Yeah, very good.
Yep. All right.
See you,
ya.
Krista.
See ya.
There you go. Down at the bottom. There you go.
Yeah, we hear you. I think it's. Oh, I hear you now, Greg.
We heard him, but he can't hear us
Oh,
still.
he can't hear us. Oh man.
Here we go.
No. Yeah.
You know what? We're halfway.
Can y'all
through.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yep,
Yes,
we're
I hear you.
halfway through. We ought to do a part 2 and do the second half of next week or something.
We could do that. We could do it that way.
So
Get more
one question.
prepared.
Yeah, the question that was asked though, just real quick, because I think that's a great.
Y'all want to
idea.
do that?
Yeah, let's do the second
Yeah,
half.
let's do it that way. Actually, I think that's a good idea.
But we still got the questions that they're about
Yeah,
to be
but
asked.
we still got some questions though.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the first one is
Okay.
they were
So
saying
I'll
that there's
end
a-
it right here, and we'll pick back up at the encounter next time.
Yep.
Right.
All right, now unshare your screen.
Okay. But yeah, we got some questions. I'll remove it.
Yeah, remove it, but he can cancel it.
And there we go.
Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Oh my God.
This way.
Is that better?
As long as you can hear us.
Oh, hold on.
Let's do it this way. Okay. All right, we're back. Home stretch time, boys.
Okay, I
Where'd
can
the
hear you
text
guys.
go?
Oh, Tex
Cool.
just kicked himself out.
Oh.
Lord have mercy. Did he leave
Yeah.
studio?
Yeah, he
he's
did.
gone.
Studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was supposed to leave, and now Tex.
Now you're here.
Yeah,
So
now
yeah,
I'm still
dude.
here.
Okay,
Yo.
so let's ask the questions. All right,
All right.
ask him the questions now.
Questions.
All right. The first question, the most pressing, because I do need to go. People were saying that there's a Bigfoot on the other side of the truck during that last scene. Yes or no?
Yes.
Interesting. And how do you know it was Bigfoot, not like say a dog man or?
It had the classic outline of the Bigfoot. I mean,
Okay.
of course, it is pitch black when we're out there, and the only thing you could actually see was the silhouette of what was there, right? So it had a very, very classic Bigfoot shape. You know, I had actually talked to you about getting one of your drawings to show the audience what I saw. And it had, the conical head and just
broad
very
shoulders, no neck.
broad shoulders, virtually no neck. One of your drawings was identical to what I saw.
Wow.
But again, this is pitch black. The camera that I just happened to pick up was a short range camera. So, you can't even see the front of the truck with the camera. So, I mean, it's only made for subjects. So it's unfortunate that I didn't get my long range night vision camera. But of course, we're working in pitch black. And the whole time this thing's growling at us, just I can't exactly reproduce it, but
and that's what he was reacting to, right?
Yes, that's what he was reacting to.
How close was this thing supposedly?
At one time?
Like you said, right on the other side. So
just on the other side of the truck,
So you're talking about 10, 20 feet, something like that?
Yeah, like, maybe 20 feet, 25 feet.
So, I can understand why you'd be rattled being that close to it, obviously, in here.
Yeah.
Did y'all happen to have, because everybody talks about the smell that comes along with them. Did you actually have a smell that was associated with it?
Didn't have a smell.
Didn't have a smell at all, though.
No smell.
It's cool that, they're not all, somebody says, oh, if you don't have the smell, it's not there. That's not the case all the time. We already know this.
Right.
So, I mean, that's cool that situation happened because you got 3 or 4 or 10 or however many people you got there all heard it and are recognizing it, so that lends a lot of credence to everything right there, obviously.
And, during the premiere, putting it on the big screen actually in the theater, it's a giant screen.
Yeah.
So putting it on that, you were actually able to see, and if you look real closely, you might be able to on a smaller screen. We actually caught the eyes in the very, very beginning when I started filming the truck. That's what I was trying to film. I was trying to film the Bigfoot. So I actually did get its eyes, and then at some point they went away because during the screening, Adam and I just looked over and said, "Fuck yeah!" and we just high five each other.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And at some point, after the film was over and we were doing our discussion, 3 different people came up to me and said, "Did you see the thing that y'all call crawling away?" So, and I still haven't seen it myself, but apparently there's 3 different people saw something crawling like on all 4s away really, really fast. So,
was that after this encounter, after this scene that we were about to watch?
During this, well, it was after that, but during the encounter.
During that scene. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. One last question before I bounce. Is it possible that you didn't smell the smell because you had gone nose deaf because you smelled so bad?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Jason.
You see, you got to think these things through sometimes.
Now, that's a true investigative journalistic question.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to be willing to ask the hard questions. Right?
Yeah, some people go nose blind.
That's what I'm saying. So on that note, I'd say behave yourselves, but this is Donnie's channel. That's just not going to happen. So
that's true.
Greg, pleasure as always. Y'all be good.
See ya.
See you, Jason.
Thanks for hanging out. Later.
So how tall was this?
Between 9 and 10 feet tall.
Wow, he was a big boy then.
He was a big guy. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to. Well, later on during the encounter scene, you'll see it move off into the woods, and then its eyes actually start glowing. It's not eye shine; it's eye glow. Yeah. And we capture that. Yeah, we capture that, and actually we captured it multiple times during our outings. We only chose to use it one time.
See, that lends me to think something other than flesh and blood, obviously, instead of regular eye shine, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude, all I know is that dude was looking shook, man. I saw Because when I was watching that, you see the way he's holding his light. You could see his hand shaking pretty hard, man.
Yeah, and all of it's actually it's very real. Everything there is real and genuine.
Yeah.
And he was the one that wanted to run, right?
Yes, he was the one that I was holding by the back of the coat while I was trying to get the camera. While I was fiddling, in the back trying to find the camera when all this growling was going on.
Wow. Wow,
man.
Yeah, and the thing is that the thing didn't growl just once, twice, 3 times. It was 14, 15 times. I mean, it just every time, when we get together in the line, we try to start moving forward. This thing just started growling at us. Was not intimidated by us at all.
Well, geez, if I was 9, 10 foot tall, I wouldn't be intimidated by y'all either.
Yeah,
no.
Hey,
our security that we had with us, he's been there a lot, and war criminal. And anyway, he's a former police officer, but he said that as many times as he's been there, he's only drawn his weapon once, and that time was it.
That was it, huh?
Wow.
They caught him off guard too, and I can validate where like he's saying, because I was stationed at Fort Campbell for 8 years, and Land Between the Lakes was my go-to. I mean, that was my fishing and hiking and everything area. Never once has any of this stuff ever happened to me at all. Never did I even feel unsafe.
How often were you going there?
Good Lord, I was going 2 or 3 times a week at one time.
For how long?
I'd be out there overnight most of the times.
No, I mean
how many years?
For how many years?
Oh, almost 8 years.
You were going there for 8 years?
This was from 1990. When did I first get to Fort Campbell? 89. I got to Fort Campbell, and I was there off and on for the first 4 years until 92. I went to Johnson Island for a year and came back. I was there till 96, 97 before I went to Germany. So that entire time, you talk about every chance I got, I was out in Land Between the Lakes. Never once did anything ever like this, even the paranormal side of it ever hit. That's why when me and Mark Newbill were talking before at one time about it, he had to explain to me what the deal was about Land Between the Lakes, because it just never even dawned on me. Never heard of it. So, but now that I see all the stuff that's happening now, I'm like, what did I miss? Or was I just so blind at that time, young, dumb, and type thing? And I just missed it because I wasn't looking for it.
Well, maybe you weren't attuned to it,
That's the case now in a lot of places.
Damn, you were going there like for 8 years, like once a week?
Yep, once
and
or
you
twice
didn't encounter
a week.
anything?
Yeah. No.
Was
you
there
fishing, I was hunting. I mean, I wasn't doing any of that crazy stuff.
Were you camping overnight though?
Oh yeah, I stayed overnight many times. All those tobacco fields that were out there in that whole area.
Yeah.
We used to get pimped out by our first sergeant, to go work for the tobacco farmers and harvest the tobacco leaves. We make $5 an hour in 1991, just to go help out a farmer as contract labor. I don't know what the first sergeant got kickbacks for, but we all he put out, say, hey, this guy needs some help. Y'all want to go do it? He's paying you $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go make a little extra money on the side.
I think Dogman took one long hard look at Randy while he was sleeping in his tent. I was just like, pass.
Probably.
That's too easy.
I was probably so sauced he wouldn't even have a chance to do anything. Yeah. Just drag me off. Okay, whatever.
I will say that while we was up there, we continued to have camera issues. We had when I went up there the 2 weekends after that, all of my interview footage was just corrupted. We experienced that we were sitting there watching orbs and things, and we captured these eyes that we were looking at for forever, and all of that footage was gone. I mean, two separate things. The interviews was at one location. The investigation part was at another location, and both of them lost every bit of that footage.
Really?
Through corruption. Yeah. Some sort of file corruption, battery drainage. Just the normal stuff that you encounter when doing this.
Yeah.
So I guess you're lucky that you had that footage saved, or that made it through the encounter.
Yes. Yeah, and immediately right after we left from there, we checked the footage and downloaded it, put it on multiple devices, so that would have backup after backup of all that footage.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, while we're there, we caught all kinds of orbs. There's coming up orb scenes. We had orbs there. We had disembodied voices. When we went ghost hunting. Now, one of the things that was interesting there was we were filming Krista and Brandy and their team doing the ghost hunt. Okay, well, Brandy got a really good EVP. We chose not to use that because there was other people talking in another room at the same time. And what I didn't expect during the thing was for my microphone to catch EVPs, and I caught 2 EVPs and didn't even know it. Yeah. So later on you get to hear that. So
cool.
It's chock full of evidence.
Oh yeah,
just chock full.
That's cool. I mean, and I wasn't trying to say like nothing happened there. What I'm saying, it just didn't happen with me.
Right.
And that's one of those things. Like I may have been a little bit further south than y'all were. Of course, the Land Between the Lakes rec area for Fort Campbell, and then the trails that go up from there. That's what I was mainly on. I may not have made it as far up as y'all were too.
It could be. I couldn't go to that location again if you tried. The LBL is a pretty big place.
Yeah, it's pretty good size. Yeah,
from where I will say from where we were camping at from our campground to that encounter location was like an hour and 10 minutes.
Wow,
driving, yeah, and we were still in the LBL.
Oh yeah, that whole area, it's monstrous. Of course, the lakes are monstrous too, actually.
So, but that encounter, watch it very closely because apparently, we as many times as I've seen it, I didn't see the things crawling, but 3 different people come up to me and said that they saw something crawling away.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm gonna have to watch that on a big screen because I think the last time I watched it on my computer here.
Yeah.
And you can't really tell it that well, but I'm gonna have to watch it on one of my big TVs.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of glad that we stopped it like at that point because I feel like now people are watching this are gonna be like, well, I kind of need to watch the rest of that.
So we're baiting them for the next time.
But Greg, really, from the bottom of my heart, man, my plans tonight went awry, like in the most epic of ways. I had this whole thing planned out that we would watch Alligator, but it didn't go through. And the fact that you offered up your baby, your baby that you've been taking care of for all these, for this.
It took 2 years to make.
Yeah. And I remember, when we were hanging out in Alabama, how proud you were, and then you showed me the clips, and I'd be like, "Damn, Greg," because I saw your other movie, your first one, the
Downy Booger.
Downy Booger. And I was like noticing, like, damn, your cinematography and your camera work, the shots. I'm like, holy shit, damn, you upgraded your game, man. What's going on here? Because you showed me the opening shot of the drone footage, and I was like, where'd you get that drone? Because your previous movie didn't have all that, right? It was definitely
we had some drone footage, but not quite as much.
It like this one, it's got so much more dynamic camera work, right? Like even the static shots I noticed would like sort of move in slowly for this one. I'm like, oh, Greg is going that extra mile there.
I told you we took extra care and doing the little things for the viewer,
but your cinematography has gotten like noticeably better. Well, and it wasn't bad in the Downy Booger, but I saw this one. I was like, damn, Greg, I didn't know you had that in you.
Well, the more you make, the better you get.
Yeah.
And, the next one, actually starts out pretty good too.
Cool.
What's
the next one?
The next one's going to center around missing people in the national park areas.
Ooh,
interesting.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, Greg, let me ask you this though. Here's my question for you. Now that you've gained all this knowledge and abilities in video editing and filming and everything, have you put more thought into, like, not in terms of like feature length films, but like mini documentaries that could be used towards like a high traffic YouTube channel where you have these like mini docs,
Talking about putting in shorts, maybe 20 minutes or
not
so.
a short. I'm more like a show rather than a movie.
Kind of like a series.
Yeah, like a series.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't really thought about that. It takes a lot of time to do the editing and stuff.
Yeah.
To do it like I like it. And remember, I film on weekends. And it's not every weekend that I can go out.
Mhm.
So between the months of April and September, there's no filming. I don't film then. It's only between the months of October and the end of April, or beginning of April, somewhere around in there, depending on how cold it is, that I'll actually film. So you got every other weekend.
The filming takes a lot, right? Because it seems like it was very meticulously shot.
It is. Well, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of planning goes into all that. It's not just, you pick a place and go out and start filming. You got to get permits and you got to secure locations. And you even on private property, you've got to get permission to film, essentially. But, it's got to be done in a documented way. So there's actually a whole lot goes into making a documentary. And, if you make something on YouTube and you're just going out, just run and gun, just shoot, and you don't secure any of these permissions, whoever the landowners is, including the federal government or whatever, can come after you. And that you can go to prison for doing stuff like that. Because
what about for like a paranormal investigation though, where it's like indoors, you have access to the place?
Well, if you have on something like that, you can. But how many of those can you put together?
Yeah, true.
To make a series, without a full team. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
If I had a full team, I could probably do something like that.
Yeah.
But when it's just down to 2 or 3 people, that's very difficult. If you see something that's on like Discovery or whatever, what they're not showing you is the 50 people that's off camera.
Right.
There's usually 8-10 producers there, or assistant producers, and then there's assistants to those producers, and then there's teams of editors, not just one dude, but teams of editors, teams of writers, and then you have a legal department and all this other stuff. So, I'm right now like a one-man band. So
let me ask you this question then, Greg. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you did have that team. You did have all those resources. What would you do?
I would do it.
A series?
I would do a series. I love doing this stuff. One of the reasons why I think that my films are so good is because I love what I'm doing. I love it, and I'm wanting to put out some of the best quality stuff that I can. I don't want to see somebody. I don't want to put out slop.
See, that's what I enjoy about it, because you can tell that you love what you do. Just because what I mentioned earlier, just the jump in like the camera work and the cinematography from the previous film to this one, like one of the things I've noticed right away, I'm like, oh man, this guy's like really mastering his craft. Like he's really putting a lot of passion into this. Like he cares.
Yeah, I do, and thank God for you too, because I get to learn all this craft along the way. I didn't take any kind of film school or anything like that. I'm an engineer, so I just dove into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, how hard can it be? And I'm telling you, it can be hard. You know, it can be real hard. But if for your question, I would actually do a series if I had the team to do it. But because I know how not to do something, because the Downy Booger is example of how not to do it, because it took us many, many, many years to do that. I now know what to do, and I would not jump into something like that just by myself because I know it's more than it's a bigger bite than I could shoot.
Right.
So you have to have a team to do that.
Yeah.
And I've actually turned down offers to be in other series because I have gotten wind that they stage things and things aren't exactly real. So
there's a part of me that feels like if you take everything that you've built up and learned now, and then you put that into like building up a real gangbusters YouTube channel, like, yeah, it doesn't have to be the same level of production as this one, but you know, taking some of the things that you've learned with editing and filming, and maybe, I don't know, I feel like if you combine that expertise with like YouTube, I feel like you can make like a real killer channel.
Well, thanks for your enthusiasm about it, but I don't know if I can do it or not.
That's the one thing that's holding me back is my inability to learn or bother to learn video editing. I wish I knew video editing. Yeah,
I actually like it. You know, I think it's a lot of fun. And I have to, every time that I want to do something, I'm having to go to YouTube and look up more. How do I transition this? And you know, you get to if you do it over and over and over, you finally get to where you don't have to seek help all the time. But it's a long road to get there.
That's actually one of the things that I like doing about pre-recorded interviews and pre-recorded shows. I can actually sit down and take the time to edit stuff into the show, you know, pictures, movies or whatever, something that we're talking about. Whereas on a live, you can't really do that too much. But, you know, talking about the shows that are staging it, I think that you would probably be a hell of a lot better doing, you know, the Patreon or YouTube, because you don't fake things, and you see more of the mainstream stuff on the, I don't want to say the channels, but on the cable channels and stuff. Those are the ones that are faking it, I guess, for the audience to get their reaction out of it. So yeah, this
production value. It's called production value.
Yeah. If you're pumping out, you know, 15, 20 shows a year, you're faking it.
Oh yeah.
It's called production value and giving a shit about your craft, because there's so many people out there nowadays that are just phoning it in. And it's becoming more and more obvious.
It's once again like he who must not be named.
Right. And you know, I just think it's so much more noble what you're doing than, you know, something like what they're doing. I mean, they might be getting the huge bucks and the big fame, but it's all coming at a cost. So.
It is. Well, you would be surprised at what some people make on, you know, in the bigger industries. You know, for example, the people on Discovery channels or History or whatever, on those reality shows, you'd be surprised at how little the talent makes.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. The reality shows altogether, they don't make much at all. That's why they're so cheap. That's why there's so many of them.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Well, just take a case in point alone, the show alone. Those guys go out into that wood and get in those woods and get dropped off to live off the land for however many days and whatever. After they get pulled or they tap out, they only get, I think it was a $2,000 a week stipend, which I'd love to have see $2,000 a week myself. But anyway, but that's all they get for while they were out there. They would get that. That they're still sequestered and kept off to the side, and they can't go back to work or anything until the show is completely done filming. So nothing ever gets out. So they keep them just like the Naked and Afraid bunches and all that crap. They get kept away from everybody else. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, I can't use the money while I'm out there, obviously. But at least even if I make 2 weeks, I made $8,000. I'd be happy with myself out of 4 weeks worth of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I turned down a show that it would pay $8,000 per episode, and it required you to be there for a minimum of 10 episodes.
Okay.
So I mean, that's not horrible money, but at the same time, they would 1099 you.
Yeah.
So
you
there,
got to pay the taxes out of it.
You got to pay all the taxes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when push comes to shove, I'd rather keep my day job. So,
yeah.
And that was one of the ones where I thought that they would probably be doing things that I wouldn't agree with, that I wouldn't want to sign my name to. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like with my films, I mean, everything that you see is real. You might have a different interpretation of what it is, but like the shadow person behind me over my right shoulder, a lot of people might say, "Ooh, that's just one of the people that was moving around."
Well, I know that dude was not acting scared.
No,
that dude was legitimately scared.
He was.
He was. That was all. His hands were shaking.
Yeah. That was legit.
Like, holy shit, that ain't acting.
And see, that's what I liked about like yours right there. All of us have watched that crap on I'll say it, Travel Channel. It's all on Travel Channel, 99.9% of it. Okay, but when you sit there and see somebody like your guy reacted, or you see the way, and I hate to say I'm really dating myself really, because Monster Quest, when they did their the attack on Bigfoot Island or whatever it was, where they were up in Canada at that cabin that got the rocks thrown at it and such, you could see the concern on Jeff Meldrum's face, and you could hear the concern in Doug Hychick's voice when he talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't faking that. That was real to them.
No, that was real. That was absolutely real.
And you could see it in them. You know what I mean? And that lends to it, is what I'm trying to say. So
I actually talked to Doug about that. And he said it was absolutely real. And they did another. They went up there to that same cabin not long ago. And, yeah, and they were able to podcast from there because they took Starlink with them. And,
cool.
Yeah, they had some of the same stuff happen all over again.
Well, I mean, you're back in the same realm. You think they left? You're the one that left. They didn't leave.
Oh, true. But yeah, that one was absolutely real. And another film group that I have a lot of respect for is Tony Merkel's group.
Oh, I'm friends with him.
Yeah, Tony Merkel. Yeah,
yeah. I got into a screaming match with him in a parking lot. Can I tell you about the story about how I got into a screaming match with Tony Merkel?
Yeah.
What did you do? Tell him the parting.
No. So we went on a couple investigations together.
Yeah.
And like we hung out a few times, and then one time like he was driving, I was sitting in the passenger seat. We were going to like this haunted tour. It was like a group thing that he organized for his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were getting out, I was like, "Yeah, I think grilled cheese sandwiches are fucking stupid." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, I told him the story about how every time I was a kid in school, I would get a grilled cheese sandwich, and I'd be like, "Where the fuck is the meat?" This lady didn't finish my sandwich, and I would get pissed, like as a 7-year-old, right? And then Tony counters. We're in the parking lot, and he's like looking kind of upset, like hurt. And I'm like, "What's wrong?" They're like, "What's going on?" And he's like, he went into this whole story about how when he was a kid, he was like really poor. And his mom, all she could make for him was like just 2 slices of bread with an American cheese and put it in the microwave. But the fact that his mom would do that for him, he was so grateful as a little kid. They were struggling. They were poor. And then at the end of that story, I was like, no, it doesn't change the fact that grilled cheese sandwiches are fucking stupid. It's a meatless sandwich. It's a sandwich with no meat.
Me and him are not going to agree at all on this,
dumb.
all right? So.
It is fucking dumb. I'm sorry.
I'm now craving a grilled cheese sandwich.
Exactly. You know what
How
I mean?
about how about finishing the sandwich by putting some ham or some
done that
turkey?
too. That's the point.
Well, the way I finish that sandwich is I dunk it in some chili.
Exactly. Thank you.
Ooh.
My,
Wait,
my
it's called
family
a
dunks it in
sandwich?
tomato
If it
soup.
doesn't
and crap, but I
have
don't do
meat,
that.
it's not a sandwich. That's my rule. If there's no meat between those two pieces of bread, that's not a fucking sandwich.
Okay, so
It's
I'm going to
not a
explain to you what a sandwich is to an infantry guy. Anything between two pieces of bread, doesn't matter
No.
what it is a
Cheese
sandwich.
doesn't count. Cheese
A
is
hot
like more
dog
like it's
is a
almost a
sandwich.
condiment. It's almost just a condiment.
See, and this
Agree
is why
to
we
disagree.
have problems with Koreans.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. As a Korean person, as someone who grew up on Korean food, as a kid, I liked all the food, right? I love me some tater tots,
Tater tots
I
aren't
love me
Korean.
like a good ham sandwich, but then grilled cheese day would come along and all these kids would be like, yay, I have a bread with 2 pieces of bread with a fucking cheese in between. I'm like, why are
I'm
you
gonna
so
tell you
happy
what.
about this? Someone clearly did not finish their fucking job in making you a sandwich.
That just means that he did not have one with enough butter on it. That's all there is
That's
to it.
right.
It's
And it
fucking
wasn't
dumb.
cut in a triangle either.
It's fucking dumb.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to cut them in triangles.
Yeah, if they
See,
ain't
okay.
triangle, they ain't worth crap.
Now, in the morning, I like to have a piece of toast with butter on it. Okay? But
All right, Elwood
here's the
Blues.
difference. That's one slice of bread and some butter. It doesn't pretend to be a sandwich. Get the fuck out of here with calling it a sandwich. That's my problem with it. Because, Tony told me this story about how his mom, they were living in a trailer park. They were so poor. And they made it for him, and he loved it. I'm like, I acknowledge the fact that you enjoyed it. Here's my problem with it. It's not a fucking sandwich.
But it's cheese that's sandwiched between 2 pieces
Between
of bread.
2 pieces of bread.
Well played, Greg. Well played.
Yes. Good man. Good man.
So, yeah, Tony and I got into a screaming match about that. Then he started getting loud. Then, I started getting loud, and there were words exchanged. But,
Oh.
Did he summon Zozo on your ass?
Tony and I, we got some war stories. We got some paranormal investigation war stories, man. I was there with him. He's got war stories. Bring up Donny Cho. Next time you meet Tony Merkel, he'll be like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. Oh, yeah.
When I talk to him next time I'm on his show,
We
have to
faced down
bring that
demons.
up.
We've literally faced down demons together. Like, we were side by side. Some dude was getting absolutely fucked up by a ghost, and Tony and I just looked at each other like, damn.
Yeah, y'all didn't rush in to help. You're like, ooh, man, look at that.
Oh,
that
no,
fucking
this
getting
dude was
rid.
getting jackmified by a ghost. He was a cocky-ass redneck who was in the group only because he wanted to show off, and he was hitting on all the women.
Oh, Tex.
And they were all like married and shit. And this guy was a fucking skis bag.
Tex ain't a douchebag.
Yeah, my theory was that guy was like on meth or some shit. Anyway, he joins the fucking paranormal group, right? We do this investigation with Tony and everyone. We all split into teams. Meanwhile, this guy, he's there talking all this shit about the ghosts. He's like, I don't give a damn about the ghosts. It can't do shit to me, right? The guy was there as a Bigfoot experiencer. He was like an outdoorsy Bigfoot guy, so he didn't know anything about ghosts. But meanwhile, this guy's trying to talk shit about the ghosts to try to impress all these married women who are there as Tony's fans. So Tony and I are in a group. We're investigating. We're doing K2 meters and shit. All of a sudden, we freaking hear screaming going out into the hallway. All the groups stop what they're doing. They all rush out into the hallway. We're just like, what the fuck is going on right now? My man is bawling loudly, like sobbing, like someone had slapped like a 4-year-old. Like that level of sobbing. And we're just like, what the fuck is going on? And like apparently the ghost girl, there was a ghost of a 6-year-old girl that went up behind him, grabs, hugs this dude, and dumps all this psychic shit into him. And this guy's all paralyzed in the corner, all stiff as a board, crying loudly. Tony and I are looking at each other like, what the fuck is this? Because this guy was he was the exact person that was talking shit the whole night. And the 2 mediums who were running the place were looking at each other being like, oh yeah, this dude's about to get fucked up right now.
Because he opened his mouth.
Yeah, and then right after that, my man was catatonic for like the next 2 days. That dude was catatonic.
When you get messed up like that, especially on an investigation, you
fucked up. Yeah.
It will affect you for a while.
This dude was like, he was all like stiff like this and just like bursting in tears in all directions. Tony's got like his like camera out and like I'm next to him and be like, dude. He was like looking at me and it's like, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So
that's wild.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I saw a dude get fucked up by a ghost right in front of my face.
Damn.
You know, I've never seen anybody get attacked by anything. I've seen a guy get scared shitless. You know, we get that for all the world to see. But I've never seen anybody get
straight up attacked. Like
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Well, I've been with one that got scratched.
This dude got freaking. I don't know what that thing did to him, but that guy was straight up like catatonic. He was like literally in the corner. The guy didn't say a word the whole weekend.
Wow.
That's wild. That is wild.
Now, I will say that when I was at the LBL, I saw a portal, and you know that kind of messed with my mind.
What did it actually look like, though? When you say you saw a portal, what did it look like?
Yeah.
Describe the scene.
Okay, when we were sitting there just looking at orbs, right? We were seeing orbs, and then I saw a light with a color that I hadn't seen before. It was kind of a yellowish looking color. Okay, but I couldn't see the source of it, so I kind of move around amongst the trees and stuff to see the source. Finally, see the source of it, and what it looked like was a rectangle. You know, it's like a phone or something. But when you look into it, it was daylight. At first, you know, really all you could see was
How
just
close
really,
were you to this thing?
50 feet, probably.
You were about 50 feet.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like looking into it, and it looked like daylight, like inside.
Yeah, it was definitely daylight. You know where I was seeing, right, and the portal itself was very much 2-dimensional. You know, if you got too close to its tangent, you couldn't see, right? You couldn't see. All you could see was the light emanating from like.
Oh, so it was just a flat plane.
Yes, flat plane. So look, you know, as I changed positions, you could see the. I mean, and it had 90 degrees on it, right? It's just very sharp, like a window.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was a bit stunned. I've seen a lot of crap, right? But I was a bit stunned. I was like, well, holy crap, you know. And there was a large group there. There was me and this other lady and Kathy. We both saw it. Well, at least I saw the portal. She saw the light from it. She didn't get over to where my position quick enough before somebody like shine a light on it and it disappeared. But where I was looking at, it looked like the brightest day of anywhere. It could have been on the other side of the earth for all I know. But all I know is where we were was pitch black, right? And after it disappeared, maybe a couple of minutes later or less, an orb came up from that position and settled in a little bit closer to us, about 30 feet away from us.
Wow.
So I've been kind of gathering evidence and formulating an opinion about things. Okay, if I go back to the Downy Booger, I'm filming this orb, and then we catch this thing crawling in between us, right? Mm-hmm. And as we catch this thing crawling, this orb in the background is just going nuts, just getting bright and dim and bright and dim. So and the camera is trying to focus on the thing crawling until the orb starts acting up in the background. And then the camera focuses in on the orb, and then the thing is able to crawl off camera. Yeah. Now, okay, I'm going to go to other instances where we've seen Bigfoots and or we've seen orbs and we've had Bigfoot activity, right?
And I'm sitting there thinking back to the glow stick. If you looked at that glow stick from afar, it would look like an orb. It would look very much like an orb that was just kind of standing there in one spot.
Wow.
Okay. And that attracted that Bigfoot over there to it. Now, we've got this situation where portal opens up and an orb comes out. So I've got an association with Bigfoots and orbs. So, and I've seen this portal and I've seen like an orb come out of this portal. Well, I didn't see the orb come out. I'm kind of assuming that this orb came out of this portal. This is leading me to believe that I think Bigfoots can transform themselves into orbs. They're not from here, and they open up portals to come out and to enter our world.
They're not from our world or our dimension.
Oh, our world, our dimension, whatever.
Okay.
You know, they're not from here.
Yeah.
It was just odd, though, that the orb that we filmed in the Downey Booger, it just was just luminous all night until that one scene where it just went berserk. So I knew from past experiences with orbs that they're either intelligent themselves or under intelligent control. So that's leading me to think that these things have maybe an ability to transform themselves into energy. And they're able to traverse portals in an energy form. Not saying that's correct. I'm just saying, you know, I've got, I've got these pieces of puzzles, and, you know, I'm starting to put these pieces of puzzles together.
Can I tell you the law of one theory on orbs?
Can
we go extra woo on this?
Sure.
It's a functional, you know, paradigm and how it works. Randy's like, oh hell no, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. With
Randy's passed out.
Yeah. Okay. So, according to the law of one, which was a seventh density channeled being, right? That explained like all the, you know, how it all works. According to that being, orbs.
That'd be Ra.
Ra.
Orbs are essentially, you know how like, okay, it's interstellar travel. Like when you talk about like faster than light, there's nothing in science you can really wrap your brain around it, like how it would actually work, right? Right. But according to this Ra being, the way it actually works is these, you know, light years is too hard to travel, right? There's no to engineer it. Travel traditional space. But the way they do it is they actually use psychically manifested drones.
Okay, I'm on board with that.
So these drones are not the thing itself. They're not the perceiver itself. So whatever, let's say there's something on the other side of the universe that wants to check out what's going on Earth. It can't obviously cannot travel all those galaxies away. That's too difficult. But it could get into a meditative state like a CE5, and then a part of its consciousness manifests here as these orbs as a kind of psychically operated drone. It's like an interstellar drone, but it's not like technological in nature. It's more like spiritual and like psychic in nature. That's what the orbs are.
Interesting. You know, maybe they're there studying Bigfoot, same as what we would be doing. And that's why there's a connection between them.
Right. Or maybe they're studying us. Maybe
I could be, you know, don't know. And that also would explain why light would make them disappear.
Very true. Yeah.
Because
I think it's a solid theory enough. I mean, given
you know, we've actually postulated something like that they were drones of some sort.
Like spiritual drones.
Well, we just said drones. We left it open. We didn't know if it was technological. Well, actually, I think the spiritual thing is still technological. Everything is paranormal until it's normal. This Newtonian physics that, we think is the all end all, I think is only scratches the surface.
Spirituality is just science we don't understand yet.
It's just a science we don't understand.
Yeah.
That's correct. Very much leaning towards that. Like, I don't believe in magic per se. I don't believe in magic at all. I believe everything is a science until that we just don't know yet.
But it's like other dimensions, right? When you consider other dimensions, other layers of reality or parallel universes, that's like almost getting near the magic point where you're like,
yeah. I still think it's a physics that we just don't understand.
Right.
I really think that's what it is. I mean, you can call it magic, and then it might look like magic, but I don't believe in magic per se. I believe in like there's a science to it, and we just don't understand it.
We just don't know it yet.
That's right.
Yeah,
we don't know it yet, and I think our colleges and universities do us a big disservice by saying that there is no other science besides Newtonian physics.
They are driven and operated and ruled by objective materialism. The objective materialistic worldview is what dominates. Unfortunately, that doesn't jive with a lot of what spirituality is based off of, because if anything that spirituality, religions, and the paranormal implies or points to is that our reality and our universe is not inherently objective or materialistic. It is actually subjective and changes and adapts to our own perceptions and our own consciousnesses.
You make your own reality.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Anyway, so I think we'll leave it here. We've been going on for about like almost 2 hours. But before I go, and because
after the restart, that is,
and because I had to restart due to copyrighted shit, I figured I might as well. Before I leave you guys alone, I'm gonna play some fucking K-pop, because you know what? It's
I'm gone. I'm gone.
Okay,
it's happening. Here we go. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, no, that's good. Leave it off. It's good.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm happy now.
K-pop, baby.
Oh my god.
Look
at this editing, by the way. Look at the camera transitions. Now this is some fucking editing.
I gotta go cleanse my soul. I gotta go cleanse my soul and listen to some Metallica after this.
Exactly. Thank you, because we know they know how to say KKK.
Look at the confused looking white lady.
Oh my god.
Every K-pop video needs to have one confused looking white lady. Oh shit.
Okay. I guess to go.
Yeah.
Oh, giant pink monster. What's it doing here?
There we go.
Why is that chair floating in the air? Why is it doing that? Why is she shooting stuff?
Everybody knows Korean.
Oh my god, is she dead?
Is that her song?
And what's that cookie about?
You don't know either.
Exactly, Pyromedic.
How did Leah survive? That's Leah, by the way. Oh my god, they're being attacked. That's Yujin. She's my favorite one right now. That's my favorite member. Oh man, they're getting shot at. Why are they shooting?
KKK.
Yes, I love me some K-pop. Well, she just got sniped. That's Yujin. I would consider her like the most eccentric girl in all of K-pop. She's got shadow demons. What the fuck is that about?
She doesn't know what she's saying. Somebody gave her the words and she's just saying it.
Hey guys, if you ever want to look at like what goes on inside Donny Cho's brain, like if you had to like actually take a look, this is pretty much this is what the inside my brain looks like. Like if you had to take my brain like in and out style, like inside out.
Like Demon Ninjas.
Yeah.
KKK.
This is literally the inside of Donny Cho's brain.
It's the same girl singing every time.
There's doves. Oh man, she's getting smacked in the face for no reason. That's Chedio. That's Yeji. Yeji's the leader. She's like the leader of the group.
You say it like I care.
Yeah, this is.
Hey man, my show got restarted because they wouldn't let me play Alligator. If they're not gonna let me play Alligator, goddamn, I'm gonna play some goddamn K-pop. God damn it.
It's okay. Torture of white people. It's okay.
Yeah. Torture of music.
Yes. It's been
torturous people who actually
I just
believe
play
in real
K-pop
music.
on my channel, folks. And just like that, I'm gonna end my stream.
Jason,
Randy, we
you're
were here
glad
to
you
witness
left.
it, Randy.